Hello and welcome to another episode of An Inspired Life, where you find freedom and purpose by embracing your divine feminine power. I am so excited to have Monique Alamedine on the show. So she is a Zen hustle mentor and intuitive business coach to entrepreneurial women, or lady hustlers, as she likes to call them, who want more fun and freedom. Oh, fun! Perfect. Monique uses a blend of ancient wisdom, business strategy, spiritual principles, and badassery. She teaches women the art of blending hustle and flow to make business building fun. Monique's on a mission to share how hustle and the divine feminine work harmoniously together. And you can find out more about her at zenhustler.com. Monique, welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Kiara. Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Can you share a little bit about, we haven't spoken before, so I would love to know everything about you, but maybe if you can just tell us a little bit about how you got to be doing what you do today, and we can go from there.
Yeah, so my background is quite diverse in that I've been a business coach I started to be a life coach and an NLP master practitioner. I think it was like '02, something along those lines. So I've kind of evolved and developed from there. I started off in a product-based business, so I created the range of fashion bodysuits, and, the media loved it. I got a lot of media coverage, was on TV for it. And then I realized that I know this sounds weird, but products kind of are a facade for me, so I kind of got a chance to hide behind them rather than shine and share my message. And it dawned on me one day in a marketing seminar exactly what I was doing, and I was like, you know what, I've shied away from this far too long because I was originally a business coach. And I've been on a really long spiritual journey of evolution of, not knowing how to share that inner message because it was just so deep, and I just felt so sensitive about it, and I just couldn't articulate the words for it. And Zen Hustler has been my evolution, really. It's been about me finding my voice. It's about not fitting into any boxes anymore, because for so many years I tried to fit in. So, I'm not an introvert, I'm not an extrovert. I'm not totally feminine, but I'm not totally masculine. I now identify myself as feminine yang. That really resonates for me because I love the divine feminine spirit. I really do. But I'm just as much as let's make shit happen and let's do this. And someone once said, you're the only person that can get away with talking about lady balls and lunar cycles, because I talk about how to use the lunar cycle to know when to go balls to the wall and when to go, you know what? It's time to stop and get into that flow and that beautiful feminine energy. So Zen Hustler is really my journey. It's my evolution. It's, from the name to what it stands for. It's about not fitting in anywhere. It's about bringing all these worlds together. Like, I'm multi-passionate. I'm an ambivert. I'm masculine and feminine. I love the hustle, but I love the whole spiritual feminine flow as well. So it's about all that together. And so, long story short, I've got a couple of product ranges. I also sell glass drinking straws, which are and so, it's been a real journey to get to this point, because I struggled a lot with, especially being like a light worker. I really am sensitive, yet I'm so tough and strong. So it's paving the way for women like that, who are very strong and maybe tap into their masculine energy, but are just as feminine as the next, really, really sort of more over to the feminine side woman.
I love that, Monique. There's so much in that I want to ask you about, but we'll go with first. My journey was, when I was growing up, I was a lot more in my masculine energy. And then I switched, and there was a time when I made my masculine energy bad, and I wanted to focus mostly on my feminine energy. And yes, I know, right? And I noticed, and so now I've come back to recognizing that both of them have their own strengths. And so I would love to hear more about the lunar cycle for that. But I just want to share that at this very point, like just over the weekend, I went to a business seminar for 2 days, and my partner, it is the first time he's done anything like that, and he was so overwhelmed and kind of like just like not as certain and as like directional and like kind of focused. I mean, super focused on taking in the content, but not like, he didn't give me like a sense of certainty. So I wasn't as much in my feminine energy, and he wasn't as much in his masculine energy. And I was like, oh, and then I'm like, no, it's okay. You can shift sometimes. Like, the beauty of having both is that you can shift from one to the other, and that both are okay at certain times. So that's really cool. So can you
love that you said that.
Yeah.
I love that, because I came from a very strong masculine go, make shit happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started to get into the feminine stuff, I started to fight that. Like, be all sin and peace and light. And that's who I am. Like, I'm all about love. Like, to me, love is the answer to everything. But it doesn't mean that my makeup is in that space. I just can't fit into a box. And I think what you were talking about before as well is that one extreme or the other, and it doesn't have to be. And that's the beauty of it. We have both sides to us. We need to tap into that. We can't disregard the masculine side or the hustle side. I just did a rant about that this morning on my Facebook Live about, and I hear so much about the unhustle, and it's not feminine to hustle. And it's, well, actually it is, because we've got two sides of us. We just need to learn what recharges us, how to tap into that flow, right? So for some people, it's playing Candy Crush. For some people, it's drawing, it's writing, it's meditating. It's understanding what pushes our buttons to recharge so we're in that flow space. There's no right or wrong. We need both.
You're right. We can be in flow in our masculine or in flow in our feminine. And I think it's when we judge one or the other that's when we can come out of flow, isn't it? It's not one is better. It's just that the judgment of one as better or worse is usually, yeah, cool. Awesome.
I call it hustling in flow, right? Because if you hustle in flow, then it doesn't feel like hustle. It's devotion to your cause. It's being in that space that you need to be to create and attract your tribe and share your message. So, super powerful.
Yeah. Do you know what I find with that? Because sometimes I can stay up until 4 a.m. Like, there's been times when I've gone to bed at 9:30 a.m., right? And I am just so in flow, and it's coming out and everything is beautiful. And it's not even in a masculine or a feminine energy. Like, I couldn't pick which one it was. It was in flow and it was working, right? And then there are other times where, like, I get to a certain point. I think actually, so I can do that and have a really great time. And then there's a certain point where everything just falls apart and I'm so exhausted. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Why am I even in business? Everything can kind of come up at that point. Do you have any tips for people like me to know when their flow is about to end and to be able to do something about that?
My tip for you is to allow yourself flow while you're in that. So it's things like, because I'm really practical. I love, simple. I'm a Virgo. I'm very earthy and grounded. So what works is allowing yourself that flow space. So things like using the Pomodoro technique, the 25 minutes on, 5 minutes stop, breathe, meditate, grab your crystals, hula hoop. I love hula hooping. It could be anything. I'm not a pro, I'm still learning, but I love it. I just love how it takes you out of your space. So it's really
pole dancing. I love pole dancing. I've got a pole at my house.
Yes. I don't know how to do it, but that's next on my list.
Good. One day maybe we can catch up.
Yeah, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Geelong, near Melbourne.
Okay.
Where are you?
I'm in Sydney.
Beautiful. Cool.
Yeah. So it's about allowing flow along the way and also following the lunar cycle, which kind of gives you an indication of where the energy is flowing and making time for that, because it goes through yin and yang phases in itself. So I guess it's about understanding that and understanding how it works. But on a day-to-day basis, it's really about allowing the space for flow. So how do you start your day? You've got to allow that. I try and get up as early as I can. I love getting up sort of about 5-ish. My goal now is to get up at 4 because I just think you get so much done. And allowing that space of stillness and creation. So it's allowing that flow. So I'm starting my day on the right note, right? Setting intention for the day. So there needs to be some stillness, because I know what it's like. I love the hustle. I love the, let's go. I'm on a roll. And then you burn out. So it's about stopping before you get to that point, before the warning bells go off. It's about going, okay, I've been at this for 3-4 hours. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go walk outside. I'm going to walk barefoot in the grass. Or my specialty is hug a tree. I love hugging trees. It's whatever tickles your fancy, but it's understanding and being aware, being in your body. And I know that's really, really odd because, you're in your body, of course, but it's the awareness and it's the intention.
I find that I stay in flow a lot longer as well if I am like in my body and I'm really present to that. Like, I know I found this when I was reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I was reading the book and I was so present to the book at the same time as I was really present to my own body and how I was like in that moment. And so I think if the women who are listening to this can kind of take some time to bring that awareness to like what you're doing at the same time as you bring the awareness to how it feels for you to be doing that. That's a key thing.
Great point, Kiara. That's exactly what I mean. It's about being present enough to know where you're at any given time. So it's just checking in. You don't need to constantly be in that check-in space, but check in, understand where you're at, and know your triggers, know your prompts, know your boundaries, I guess.
Absolutely. What are some of your triggers so we know what to look for as triggers?
So for me, it's when things start to feel a little bit hard. So I could be writing something and I'm just pushing too hard for it. And it's all there, it's sitting there, but it's just not coming out. Or I could be, on a writing flow for hours and creating, and then it's like, for me, sometimes it's really abrupt. It's like, that's it, done. And I listen. This is the difference. I know it sounds very simple, but I listen. Whereas in the past, I would have pushed through. Right? So that in itself is a trigger. You're reaching that point of got to shut down, got to have a break, but you push through. That's a massive trigger for me. Not flowing, creatively flowing. There's something there. I need to understand what's going on below that. Now, sometimes it's laziness. And you need to kick your own butt and go, you know what? This is just my bullshit I need to get over. Other times it's a case of, okay, what's going on below the surface? And I really think for me what's helped a lot is journaling every day, understanding where I'm at so I don't hit those points. So if I do my daily spiritual practice, if I do that daily, I tend to stay on track and have less sort of trigger moments and less kind of roadblocks.
And what is your daily spiritual practice? It's one of those things that everyone wants to know what someone does behind the scenes, don't they?
I'm like that. So basically for me, the morning is the most important, and it's really journaling about how I'm feeling, but I try not to focus on the negative of how I'm feeling. I get it all out there, I vent, it's done. Then I go over kind of into, I guess, more affirmations, goal setting, what I want to achieve. Things like, rather than if I want to make 10,000 this month, rather than I make 10,000, it's I receive. Choosing your words really carefully and being very clear about what it is that you want. What also works for me is just my crystals, just really holding. I try and meditate every day, but I'm going to be honest, I pretty much don't, because I'm so excited to start the day, but I do. This is my way of meditating and I do meditate, don't get me wrong, but I'll grab my crystals, whatever I feel drawn to. So at the moment it's sodalite and green aventurine, I think, because I'm looking at heart space and throat, because I want to share what's in my heart. So a whole lot of times, and I really just focus on my breathing for a little bit and just really get centered and grounded. I also, odd things like, drink a litre of water. That kind of sets the tone for the day, rehydrates me. What else do I do? If I'm really in the right zone, I usually write a blog post depending on what's come up for me in my journaling. So it's really from the heart, because I'm really big on what's going on in here, not necessarily what everybody is doing that you can tap into. That's another area. So when we talk about business strategy, okay, you've got to give the market what they want. But from a sharing your message perspective, it has to come from here. And in order to do that, you need to be clear on what it is that you're sharing. And in order to be clear on that, there needs to be space for it. So it's setting the intention to share your message.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that so much, Monique. I got so much out of that because I'm at a point where I've got this like set kind of, this is what I should do in the morning, right? Which does not always happen. And I think because it's like a 10-minute breathing ritual and then some visualizations and affirmations, like, there's a lot going on in that process. And especially the 10-minute breathing thing is, it's a breathing process which I love. Like, I can feel my life force filling up. It's beautiful. But it requires a 10-minute structured time. Otherwise, I kind of don't know when to stop. And it also requires me to stop breathing and hold my breath. And to do that first thing in the morning is just feels really structured and rigid. So what I think I'm going to shift into doing is just rolling over and like grabbing my journal and just putting whatever I feel like I want to say out there, which I think will be really cool to see what comes up. And then following, like, I've got so many visualizations and little meditations and stuff that I can do that I could just pick which one feels good in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a brainwave, huh?
Yeah, I love it. And when you're writing your affirmations out, actually visualize yourself with each one. So, I want to make $10,000 a month. Okay, like really, it's that whole visualization stuff, but you're kind of doing it all together as you're writing your goals. So time management, I guess, it condenses it a little bit further because I used to do it separate. I used to find it needed so much time because I'd write my goals and then I'd sit there and visualize, my perfect day and ideal lifestyle, whereas doing it all together is just so much more powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also just any essential oils I feel that I need on the day. But yeah, it's really powerful, the morning ritual.
Yeah. Do you know, I found as well in that terms of like, I've moved away from like anything that's too structured for me right now. And it was working really well before, but right now it's not. So I'm following that. And instead of like meditating for a certain amount of time, I actually just do more of the check-in throughout the day. So I bring more awareness to my body. It's like I'm in a meditative practice for a lot of the day. So I don't have to do like 20 minutes of like just this. It's like I'm meditating while I'm talking to you right now. I can feel in my body that I'm here. So that's have you found that as well? You can bring the meditative awareness to other things that you're doing as well.
Yeah, because really it's like we said before, it's about being present, isn't it? It's about being here and now, because that's what meditation is. It's silencing all the outside noise. So whilst, we are still doing something, it is some form of it because we're being present. We're here. We're not going, what I have to do. Like, I'm here with you now and I'm present. I'm not thinking of anything. As you know, we've shut down all our Facebooks, we're just here. We're focused here. And it's beautiful because we get to speak from the heart and we get to be in that heart space rather than here, which I'm a Virgo. I tend to do a lot. I jump up here and I have to sort of, remind myself to go back to the heart space. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it's so good to connect with people who feel that way. You kind of, feel your heart open up. That's something that's been really important to me, connection and connecting with people, like-minded people.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Can you tell us about lunar cycles now? I feel like I'm going to get my notebook out and taking notes. I'm so excited about this. I've heard a lot, but it's never been fully explained to me before. So I would love to hear it all. So if someone had never heard of, what if one of the women who are listening, what if they've never even understood that there's a cycle that attaches? Like, can you start from like the very beginning for us and explain a bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, every month the moon kind of restarts, I guess, if you like. So we create our like sun goals, if you like. So our yearly goals revolve around the sun, just like the star signs do. So, me being a Virgo, I'm not sure what star sign you are. Now that's all that outside stuff. The moon is all our internal emotions and just who we are inside. And it's also like checkpoints. So you want to get to this big goal, then here are your monthly check-in points. So you've got 8 different phases of the cycle, right? So you start with the new moon and that moves over to the balsamic moon, which is the last moon. So you go from the dark moon to that final crescent. And at each phase, there's different things that you need to focus on. So everyone knows the new moon and the full moon. So that's the intention. The full moon is like kind of reaping what you sow, releasing. And then there's the phases in the middle, I guess, that kind of just keep you on track. So the waxing crescent is, you know, it's creating the action plan. And then kind of the first half is the hustle part. It's the part where it's the waxing, it's the moon coming out into full bloom. And it's the time where you're launching, starting, hustling, creating, all that kind of stuff, right? It's the really the build up. Now the full moon, the energy of the full moon lasts 24 hours before and 24 hours after, with the peak being the times that you see public. So, you know, full moon at this time. So you got both sides. And the full moon is about releasing what we no longer want and kind of starting to reap what we've sown. And then the little phases in the middle are kind of those little checkpoints. So it's releasing. It's, you know, checking in, what's working, what's not, are you on track, right? So this is like the best project management and, you know, kind of to-do list or system, I guess, if you like, that I've ever come across, because the moon's consistent, it's predictable, like you just can't go wrong. And if you follow it, we're talking about being present, if you follow it and really tap into it, you start to move with it, right? So after it starts to wane, the disseminating moon after the full moon is kind of when we start pulling back a little, but we're still moving, we're still taking action, but we're checking in what's working, what's not, right? The last quarter is kind of that last, you know, last push, last hustle, but we're pulling back. So after the full moon, we're starting to pull back a little. So around the balsamic moon, I tend to really do very little because I've kind of planned for it. So I need to write anything, do anything. So it's really it's enabling you to forward plan, right? So, you know, this is each phase. This is where my energy is best going to be focused on. This is when I'm going to go hard. This is when I'm going to pull back. So you start to understand it, because before, what used to happen to me is I couldn't understand my creative flow. Some days I'd write just beautifully and I'd want to get in there and work, and then other days I'd be like, what the hell's going on? Like, I don't understand this. And when I started tapping into the moon, I could see that cycle. I could understand it a little bit more. Why at this point I was rock and roll and ready to go, as I am right now. It was new moon yesterday. And then other times I'm like just dragging myself and it's just so hard. And I understand as well that I can pull back. And so when you understand how to apply that to your business, so I run the Lunar Business Success Circle, right? And what we do every month is I talk about the energy of the moon and how we can apply that to business. So we look at what we're going to focus on for that month, right? So Taurus last month, which was about energy and about money and groundedness and all that kind of stuff. It was working out strategies for your sales funnel. So thinking about how you can create and generate more money. So every zodiacal archetype, as we call it, focuses on something different. So it doesn't mean that you can't do this thing just because we're focused on this thing. It just means that you can harness that energy more if you're focused on that at that time, because the energy, it's ripe, it's there for the picking. But it doesn't mean that you're going to fail on something else. No, it just means that you're best to focus on this particular area, but you can also set intention for other things. Now, with the new moon, I always suggest no more than sort of 10 intentions, because I find it gets too muddled up otherwise. But don't focus on more than 10 things and handwrite them. Super important, because there's a power and energy in handwriting. Like in my templates that I give out to the participants, I don't do any of those editable ones where you can type in. I do it for a reason, because I want them to handwrite everything and to feel it as they're writing it. Super important. Like journaling every day, you've got to feel your way through it and feel every single thing that you're writing on that list. And then at every phase, you go back in and go, okay, how am I going here? What's happening there? What's going on here? You've got eight times to check in and make sure you're on track. And then you've got 12 times throughout the year to double check in as well to that big goal you set for yourself at the start of the year. So we work with the sun. It's not like one's more powerful than the other. It's just, the masculine, feminine, sun's masculine, moon's feminine. It's just tapping into both. So they work well together.
That is so cool. I've just sat here like, can you keep giving me more? This is incredible. I love that, Monique.
Yeah, I was obsessed. You understand how in love I was with, or I still am with the moon. I was like, I felt like I tapped into this gold mine of possibilities and opportunity. It's just amazing. Gorgeous.
So would you, when you set your yearly calendar at the start, I mean, I don't know if you do, but say if you wanted to launch like events or you wanted to run a retreat or something like that, do you set it based on understanding the moon cycle, the lunar cycle?
I said it, well, yes and no. So I kind of understand where the energy's at, but I don't base I kind of do. It's a bit of a mixed bag. So yes and no is the short answer.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I kind of look at what that month's going to be and kind of where it's lined up. So say, for example, I wanted to launch a money building program. I would probably have launched it last month. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean that I'm not going to launch it this month because it was for last month. And I'm a bit spontaneous. So even if I plan out my year, I kind of chop and change because I like going with what I feel right here and now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of to an extent I do. And then there's, of course, the monthly check-ins as well. So you're kind of feeling where you're at, and that might change for the next month as well. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So yeah, I do.
So if we were going to do a product launch, what part of the month would work the best? Like closer to the new moon or?
Any new launches, definitely. If you launch them on the new moon, you're planting the seed for it to grow and to prosper. And if you launch on the it's just that quick kind of instant action, but it's very responsive. Whereas the new moon, you're planting the seeds for long-term growth, if that makes sense. So the new moon is always the best time. I mean, I would go so far as even on the waxing crescent, like any time in the first half is perfect, but of course the new moon is just fertile soil that you can plant those seeds into.
Okay. Beautiful. I love the way you describe all of that, but I feel like there's still so much more to learn. So do you have information about this at your website?
I do. There's a couple of things that I probably need to add on. Oddly enough, on my site, because I'm so busy talking about it and living it and working with my clients, I probably should add some more information on my site, which is why I created the Lunar Business Success Circle, because it was my direct way of kind of giving the monthly information that everybody needed at an affordable rate, because I really feel so many women need this, because it's the really feminine kind of women who've tapped into this energy so beautifully, but then it's the other side that don't really understand it. It might be a bit scary and it might be a bit too woo-woo for them. So I do it as a Virgo. I'm very practical and simple, and I don't like really overly complicated stuff. So I try to keep it really as simple as I can.
So what is in the Lunar Business Success Circle if the listeners are listening and they want to have a go at it?
So every month on the, I tend to do it on the waxing crescent because I like to sort of feel into the new energy, and I'm not an astrologer. So what I tend to do is I kind of read up all the awesome astrologers, see what's going on, and then just kind of give my own take on it. So I hold them every month on the waxing crescent, usually weekdays, and I talk through the energy for the month, what's going on planetary-wise. We came out of Mercury retrograde, for example, and Mars and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, not an astrologer, but I give it to you in practical, simple terms that you can apply to your business. And then we look at kind of, it's almost like business training as well. So last month was about, looking at your funnels and looking at products that you're delivering and kind of breaking that down. And it's live Q&A, so you get direct access to me. There's a Facebook group as well. And you get a monthly workbook also with the exact dates and times of each phase and, with a worksheet that you can actually write into. Because I find that when I was using my journal, I had to constantly flick back through my pages. Whereas if I had like my template in front of me, it's there. And I go, okay, that's fun. And I can easily refer back to it rather than have to search for it. And I've got an introductory offer right now, which is only $14 a month, because I need to get this message out there. It needs to get to as many women as possible because I'm going to empower them. I want them to tap into masculine and feminine and not feel that either is superior.
Beautiful. And how can they find that if they want to join up?
So if they go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/Lunar Business, way to get to it.
Awesome. Cool. So can you tell us maybe a little bit more about what you do for fun, or what do you do for fun? And then I've got a couple more questions for you.
I've become obsessed with hula hooping just out of nowhere, and I couldn't even keep it up for like, I'm not kidding, like not even 10 seconds. I was so damn bad, but I was so determined. So now I keep it up for a little bit, which is awesome. I'm very happy about that.
Awesome.
Tree hugging to me is just the ultimate. I just love it. I sit and I talk to trees, and I know I sound a bit loopy now, but I don't care. I love their energy. What else do I do? I actually love jogging and kind of running. I'm not a runner by any means, but I just love the freedom of it, and I need to do more of it. Mental note. What else do I do for fun? I love my straws. I'm obsessed with them, my glass drinking straws. And I love juices and smoothies. I think hula hooping's my current craze right now.
Beautiful. Awesome. And so when do you use your feminine energy the most? Like, what do you feel the best in your feminine energy doing?
Great question. Gee, that's a really good question. Honestly, it's those still moments. It's those moments where I'm holding my crystals, and really just being present. Like right in this moment, I just feel so present and so connected because I'm here and I'm focused and there's no other distractions. So I think being in that moment, and probably physically, it's when I'm hugging my daughter, you know, that motherly instinct kind of comes out, and that's kind of, I think, the ultimate feminine experience. And just nurturing her, really, just, you know, feeding her, making food for her, to me is very grounding and Mother Earth, feminine kind of feeling for me. So it's, I know it sounds silly, but it's those little things. It doesn't have to be this whole divine, I'm meditating and I'm grounded and namaste. It can be just the everyday things that I feel very feminine and the most unlikely things.
Beautiful. And what about your masculine energy? What do you use that the best for?
That's what I'm hustling. I love it. I'm just getting out there, you know, sharing my message, writing. It's really just taking action. I could even be just doing my boot camp. It's those little things. It's that push. It's that drive when my masculine kicks in. And so this is the way it comes through. It comes through differently for everybody, and that's how it comes through for me.
Awesome. And I guess it's so important to have a bit of both, because otherwise if we were only doing the feminine, I seriously would just hang around all day in nature and get nothing done and talk with people, and it would be beautiful, but I wouldn't be sharing the message I'm here to share and the gift that I've got to give to other people. So you need the masculine, don't you, to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to get this done.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to be in nature, exactly like you said, all day. I find it just the most gorgeous thing, but it's not getting me closer to sharing my message and to changing the world if I'm just going to be sitting there outdoors doing nothing. You know, it's recharging me and it's nurturing me and all that kind of stuff, but I need to apply that. I need to be able to share that with the world. Otherwise, you know, it's a little bit selfish to kind of hold it all to myself and not share that message or share that joy. Pass it on.
Yeah. I have a business called Relationship Road Trip, and my business partner, Andy Gordon, and we talk about it as your home space. So it's kind of the one that just feels the most comfortable to be in. And that's where you go to like feel, to recharge, like you said. And also I think you can feel more powerful in one. I know I at least feel more powerful in my feminine, because it is my home space. It's the one I know the best, and like, you know, deep down to my core, that's my most powerful state. But yeah, I can still feel powerful in the others. You just need to recharge and know which one is the best thing for you in that moment. Hey, absolutely.
Absolutely. And then that's the thing, exactly. Such a great point that you've made in terms of understanding where you recharge. Some may recharge in the masculine side, i.e. getting out there, doing weights or, doing a hard workout, whereas others find their recharge in yoga and the stillness. And, and we need to honour and respect that. And this is what really bugs me is there's two sides of the fence. And I'm here to just smash that fence and go, you know what, we both need each other. We're both part of the same thing. We're talking about the same thing. We want to reach this nice, comfortable place, but sometimes we've got to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, and all the masculine peeps need to come and take it easy a little bit, take a chill pill sometimes. So,
Yeah, it's not one or the other anymore, is it? It's like, well, it probably never has been. We just haven't had the conversation, but it's a continuum, and you can kind of pick, and some like will feel down one end at one particular time. But I also think that like not all women are sitting at one particular spot. Like I might be here and you might be here, or whatever it is. It's like you need to figure out where your part is on the continuum that is your home space, and then play along the line.
Exactly. I love that. Yep, exactly. I totally agree.
Beautiful. So Monique, if you could give one gift, one experience, one tool, one piece of knowing to everyone in the world, what would it be?
I want you to ditch the word discipline and replace it with devotion, right? Because discipline feels like hard work. It feels like, I've got to be disciplined. I've got to do this. Whereas when you're devoted to your cause, that saying, do what you love and you never have to work a day in your life. It's the same kind of principle. When you're devoted to your cause, it's a heartfelt project rather than the masculine coming in of going, discipline, do this. Whereas when I come from a space of just devotion, this is what I want to be doing. I love this. Tapping back into that heart space is probably more important than putting it in your head and using that word, the discipline word. And I love discipline, don't get me wrong, but discipline comes from devotion. You automatically feel disciplined because it comes so naturally because you're devoted to your cause. So let's switch the word discipline to devotion, because discipline will come from being devoted to your cause.
Awesome. And if someone is feeling like they don't really want to do something, like if they're not feeling devoted, what kind of tip can you give them to come back into that space, that heart space, and remembering their why? What would you suggest?
Okay. So besides calling me for a butt kicking, a tough love session, I would honestly suggest taking time out, right? So for me, it's really simple things like I get texters and I get just a blank, those art book thingies. And I'll just draw just silly things, flowers. Flowers always make me happy. I'll just draw little children, kids' flowers. That really, really helps me, and sort of mind mapping without mind mapping, and just writing words out and just letting things out, releasing them. Like we said before, walking outside in nature always puts you back into a beautiful space. And I think reconnecting with, journaling. For me, journaling is, and I always say to my clients, go, yes, we know, journal. Because I find it takes you back to that place and it clears out all the excess stuff that you've been holding on to, and it puts you back into devotion. It's clearing, it's paving the way. But I think trying to get as creative as you can in terms of connecting to that creativity in order to tap into the devotion again.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to chat to us, Monique. I know I got a lot of value out of what you shared, and I know everyone who's listening will as well. Thank you. And if anyone wants to find out more about Monique, they can go and visit her at zenhustler.com or bit.ly/Lunar Circle. Is that right?
Lunar Business.
Lunar Business. There you go. bit.ly/Lunar Business. Thank you, Monique. It was awesome.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Bye.